is going on, and welcome to episode 3 of the Game Time Podcast with your host, Tom Bock and SnowBikeMike. We are back for another week of talking video games and talking sports. Tommy B, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing unbelievably good. I'm getting ready for a vacation, 10 days down in the desert, or a week or so down in the desert where it's like 95 freaking degrees when it's like 45 here in Seattle. So I am ready to go.
Tommy B, get your sunscreen and have some fun, big dog. Vacation
Dude,
sounds
look
nice.
how pale I am. I'm literally gonna friggin' burn if I spend 5 seconds. I'll probably catch on fire out there. So if you don't see me next week, you know, it is what it is. I caught on fire. I died.
We got a co-host. You know what happened, everybody. Well, we are back for another week of the Game Time Podcast where we talk about sports and video games. Of course, last week, want to give a big thank you to all the feedback, all the comments. It was a lot of fun. Editing got much better. SnowBikeMike a little sleepy at the helm, but you know what? This week, I'm bringing the energy, and I got a whole lot of Gatorade in my system. But we wanted to thank you all for that one as well. Thanks for putting up with our first sports topic. It was a lot of fun. We talked James Harden's beard, and guess what? This week's sports topic is going to be even better than that. Right, Tommy?
I think so. And by the way, dude, I love all the editing you've been doing. Super proud of you. The finished product was fantastic in week 2, so I can't wait to see kind of where you keep growing your skills and where this thing goes next. And yeah, the sports and James Harden's beard did have to be discussed. We didn't solve anything. I mean, let's face it. There's still a million questions, but it had to be discussed.
We just admired the man's beard, okay? It's a work of art. It's pretty awesome, and we had a lot of fun talking about it. But it's time to jump in. Topic number 1, of course, the biggest game release of last week. Far Cry 5 is here, and we are raging through the streets, the hills, the mountains of Montana, folks. Tom Bock, you and I are going to give some of our impressions, our thoughts after 1 week with the game. So please, why don't you kick us off? Just, give me something. How are you feeling about it?
So for perspective, I'm probably, 20 or so hours in, right?
Oh, my.
I would, somewhere around there. I'd have to kind of look at my clock, but I'm pretty close to that. That's one of those games I can get lost in timing and put way more hours in it than I think I'm putting into it. So I haven't gotten super far in the story. I just took down the first of the 3 the Seed family members, right?
Sweet,
so I kind of got to John Seed, which has been cool.
John Seed's bottom right or bottom left, correct?
Bottom
He's the
left,
bottom one? Okay, cool.
Right, yeah. And man, I'm a big Far Cry guy, so I've totally been digging it. I have a lot of thoughts about sort of the good and the bad with it, right? What's interesting to me is it's got like a big people who played Far Cry 2, it kind of has that DNA in Far Cry 2, if people remember that game at all, where at least at the beginning, and I'm interested to see now that I've cleared out John Seed if this is going to change, but it's like you're constantly harassed, man. You can't go more than 5 feet without those, the rest of the cultists and everybody kind of on top of you all the time, right? So I've gotten really distracted, and I feel like after 20 hours, I've taken on way more fights probably than I should have, because you're always getting shot at. You can't go 5 feet without somebody freaking trying to light your shit up. Right?
Those damn Peggies are everywhere, Tom. Can't catch a break, man. I'm just trying to go fishing. Give me some love, people.
Right, just to go fish, they're on your shit. But I will say, so I just to back up one little step. So I love the theme of the thing. Like it kind of rides this line of it couldn't happen in real life. Obviously, they'd send in the National Guard and probably wipe these people out, unless the National Guard was in on it, which they're kind of trying to set that vibe, right? That maybe this is a bigger conspiracy. But dude, the whole religious church and state sort of thing, nationalism, like it hits pretty close to home to maybe not to that degree in the United States, but that part of it is crazy interesting to me. And I think the thing that, dude, I don't know if you've noticed this, there's some really disturbing stuff when you cruise around and see people like just random people dead,
hung up there, stabbed to death. It's pretty crazy, the things that you see in the middle of the streets and stuff, Tom.
Right, crazy.
It's crazy.
There's one was a guy like hanging from a cross and they're shooting at him. There's times you'll find like a dead dog somewhere with other people that look like they killed themselves and stuff. And so I think the thing that's throwing me a little bit, and people have kind of mentioned this about the game, is what is the tone of the game? Is it funny? Because one hand you got a bear that can blow up a plane. There's so much crazy shit that's going on. but then it's pretty dark, man. There's like a lot of really serious undertones to the game that I find myself kind of stuck in the middle. I know you and I talked about the story not really clicking for you in that respect, or getting confused kind of by the story a little bit, just because I think it is thematically kind of hard to figure out where it's going. So I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm having a ball. I love the organic stuff of it. I've done some crazy shit. Like I've taken 100 little video clips of just funny, crazy stuff that's happened, which is what I love about Far Cry. So far I'm in. I would say I'm sure I'm going to see it through to the end. I'm sure I'll put 60 to 80 hours in it. Like I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. So I'm digging it. That's where I go.
Oh, that's cool, Tom.
Yeah.
Well, I want to roll back really quick. It's interesting you brought that up because I've seen some conversations about the theme of, like, you know, kind of setting that dark, gritty story, and then all of a sudden you're out in the streets, like, going hog wild, funny one-liners, and it's just kind of a mix and a blur of that, and it's almost like they're polar opposites, and they don't go together, but those storytelling moments are pretty good, but then the next thing I'm like, I'm bopping a bear on the nose, or I'm driving over somebody, and it's like, oh, man, this, I don't know if it blends well. But I will say, you know, Dirty Bradley Cooper is what I've been calling the main protagonist, and he's been pretty interesting. I actually, on the opposite side of you, I've played about 8 hours in, and I agree with you, Tom. Far Cry is one of those games you just kind of dive in, and you can get lost in time-wise. I mean, you're clearing out different outposts, you're shooting down different wildlife to hunt them, and all of a sudden 2 hours have gone by, and you haven't really accomplished much, but you had a good time doing it, so I've been really digging that. I actually am up in the top part with the other brother, and he's been pretty interesting of, if you continue a little bit of the story, all of a sudden it will say you're being hunted by a hunting party. And at first you're like, man, what does that even mean? Like, somebody's going to come after me? Where's the mission? And all of a sudden you'll just be walking down the street and some bow and arrow shoots you in the leg and you're knocked out and you're on a story mission with them. Is right.
So that happens in the South one too.
Oh, okay, that's cool, because I will tell you, I've actually fended those off, and you can kind of push them back if you fend those guys off. Like, they pull up in one truck. If you're keeping it easy and, like, you kind of have your back to a wall, you can see them, you can kill them, and then it kind of, like, holds that off, I will say. But that's the issue I'm having right now is, like, I'm completing side missions. I do the little story quests that are available, and then all of a sudden, like, I'm kind of lost. They got this new non-linear storytelling they're promoting where, you know, it's not just always going to be in your face, like, hey, go do this story mission. Here's the story mission. You kind of got to, you know, progress the side missions and do side objectives. The top one, I need to rescue 8 hostages. I've only rescued 5, but they won't let me progress the story any further. And so it's kind of odd. I'm actually having a mixed bag of emotions lately, Tom. You know, you and I talked about it off the cast, but I'm not enjoying it as much as I thought I would. You know, there's a lot of hype around this, and it's easy to get caught up in the hype, but it's another Far Cry game to me. The animals are kind of, you know, I mean, of course it's in Montana. They can't really give you a crazy tiger, you know, a rhino coming at you, but, you know, they do a good job with that, but, like, I wish a couple years ago Far Cry put up a vote on Twitter of where do you want the next Far Cry to be? And it was like the Wild West, Jurassic Park, and they had a couple other ones. And in my mind, I'm like, let's go Jurassic Park. Let's go Turok, Chris Pratt, couple of shotguns, a lot of velociraptors, and give me some interesting animals to shoot at. But this one, it's like, oh, here comes a bear. Oh, man, there's that dire wolf with a whole lot of blood all over its face, you know? And of course, there's like moose, there's buffalo, but the setting is beautiful, but it's not grabbing me as opposed to when we were fighting rhinos and tigers in the last one. We were out in the jungle with tigers and other animals too, so I'm not digging that. I have another one I put down is I'm really loving Cheeseburger as my side character right there. I love the bear. And I was telling you as well, it almost makes it feel too easy to me. We go to an outpost. For some reason, the outpost literally only has 6 to 7 guys there. Cheeseburger eats 4 of them. I shoot the other 3. And it's like, mission complete. You did it. And I'm like, man, that was almost too easy. Right. And you were saying bump up the difficulty setting. So I'll look into that. But right now, it's not grabbing me. You said you're going to push through it. I'm probably not going to finish it at this point, but we're kind of in a lull of releases, so we'll see where I blend going forward. But in topic 3, we're going to talk about what has my attention. But Far Cry right now for me, good, not great, and it's not a SnowBikeMike joint right now. Not my thing.
Yeah, dude, I hear you. But I would encourage you to push two things. I'd encourage you to push through it on the harder difficulty level because, man, it can be gruesomely difficult. Guys have got insane aim. Yeah, I mean, it completely changes the game to me to bump it up to hard, right? And I also think that game was designed so there's a couple design things that they did that I thought were really cool on 5 that they didn't have in the other ones. So in the other ones, if you just got enough experience points or whatever they tracked, you got enough stuff to get all those perks, right? They've got all the build out of your upgrades and stuff, right? But I love the fact that they tied those to doing different challenges this time. So you've got to kill people with all the different weapons, right? You got to kill them with an SMG, a shotgun, a launcher, a fire, a flamethrower. You've got to kill them with, grenades. So the only way to get those perks is to experiment with all of the stuff in the game, right? Which is such a killer design choice to me that they made. So to me, where that game really kind of blows open and becomes just a ton of fun is when you have all your whole perk tree kind of filled out with all the extra stuff that you need to make every encounter kind of a crazy organic thing, right? You can order up whatever car you want. You and I were talking about like you've barely flown at all. Well, I'm flying everywhere. Like I'm freaking using that plane for just about everything that I'm doing because it's a freaking ball to fly that thing, right? So if you stick with it and go look at challenges, it's up in the menu, right? I don't know if you've played around with that. So every time you got to get like 20 kills with a shotgun. If you get 20 kills with a shotgun, you get 3 perk points. You spend those perk points to upgrade your fill in the blank, right? That's how that game to me was meant to be played. So once you get kind of fully upgraded and everybody, all those perks are, to me, that's when that game becomes fun. So for what it's worth, dude, I think you should kind of push through it.
Tom Bock, what are your final thoughts on Far Cry?
I think I will push through it, so maybe on future podcasts we can kind of talk about it a little bit for those that are interested. Dude, that game is just really up my alley. I'm thinking about it a lot when I'm not playing it and thinking about different ways to do kind of crazy stuff. And I always try to invent the craziest way to kill people, throw a frickin', mortar at them or do something kind of weird to see if the game design can handle it because they throw so much weird tool set. So I'm going to keep plugging away and I'll hopefully get through the story eventually.
I love it, Tom. All right, well, let's move into topic number 2. We're going to have a little fun sports time with your boy, Tommy Bock and SnowBikeMike. So this sports topic, we have just concluded the NCAA Men's Basketball March Madness Tournament. Big shout-out to Villanova taking down Michigan to become the national champs in the college men's basketball division. But we thought we'd have a little fun. Want to give some props to the Cinderella stories out there. And we had some good ones throughout March, but the biggest Cinderella story, Tom Bock, the 16-seed University of Maryland, Baltimore County, the Retrievers, take down the number 1 seed, University of Virginia. The first time ever, Tom, that a 16 seed has beaten a 1 seed in the NCAA basketball history. First time ever, Tom. We saw history together. I think you got some stats on me. Give me the numbers really quick.
Yeah, first of all, that is, if you think about how crazy that is, that's never happened before. Maybe it's not that big of a shock, right? There's 64 teams. The 1 seed is arguably 1 through 4, right? There's 4 1 seeds. So you're talking about a, hugely unmatched team. And but it is shocking. It's never happened before, so that's crazy. By the way, is it retriever like a golden retriever? Like I don't even know what their mascot. That's insane.
And like, that's what I was just gonna say, Tom. Is like I want you all to think right now. You might be a college basketball fan. You might be just a sports fan. Have you ever heard of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County? Never, never in your life have you heard about this team.
It's like a community college. The fact that's like one of those teams that they throw in there at the end just for the hell of it. So this is crazy. So in Vegas, they were a 22.5-point underdog going into the game, which is nuts, right? So that's like we should easily beat this team, and they won by 21 or 20. 21. What did they win by? 21. So basically, like a 43 or 44 point swing to the spread, right? Which, if you think, I mean, can you imagine being the Virginia kids in this thing? I mean, the embarrassment of that, and it really is embarrassing. I mean, there's no other way to put it. There's no way around it. No way around it. It's a huge school. It's an ACC school, 20,000 students. Like they have, no offense to these awesome kids that won the game, but have far superior recruiting and facilities. Like this should never happen in a million years. Should it happen? And it freaking happened. Like it's crazy. And we're going to have some fun on this sports topics. We're talking about Cinderella stories. Well, guess what? We're all a lot of kind of funny best friends out there. I know me and Tom Bock are huge kind of funny supporters. So
since we're talking about NCAA March Madness and just wrapping that up, let's talk about the kind of funny first annual Best Friend Tournament, Tom Bock. We are now underway. We've had a couple of games played thus far, but if you don't know, go check it out right now. The guys have split it into 4 divisions: brands, kind of funny best friends, San Francisco best friends, and kind of funny games. My fault on the best friends. It should be kind of funny affiliated. So if you were on a kind of funny podcast, the GOG podcast, or if you were on the kind of funny games side, you would be ranked in those. So the guys put in 1 through 8 seeds, ranked some of their friends, and somebody is walking away the first annual kind of funny best friend champion. So me and Tom Bock, being sports guys, we're going to talk bracket busters and bracketology. Right. So let's jump up to the top left side. We're going to break down the brands division, Tom. So on this bracket right now, we've already had 2 games played. The number 2 seed, DiGiorno Pizza, takes down Napa Smith Brewery. Then the number 3 seed, Oreos, takes down the 6 seed Cheetos. So what we have left,
Cheetos.
Tom Bock, hot Cheetos, not just Cheetos. I don't know if you can make a difference between them, but hot Cheetos, you're out of here.
Put a little something inside. Yeah.
So who we have left? We have the 1 seed, LaCroix, the 2 seed, DiGiorno, 3 seed, Oreo, 4 seed, Portillo's, 5 seed, Wing Wings, and the 8 seed, Taco Bell. Tom Bock, I'm going to throw it over to you now. I want your favorite from this division and your dark horse sleeper pick.
All right. So, I mean, this one to me, just because of the exposure that they get, just because of what happened with Tim, like I will be shocked if LaCroix doesn't win this bracket, just because, you know, some of the other ones are kind of local things that other people around the globe and the country may not know as well about. So I'm going to say LaCroix gets through this bracket. I personally would like to see Portillo's get through it, just because it's kind of an interesting, you know, it's of all the bunch is probably the one that I would gravitate towards, that I would want to be part of and eat. I don't want to eat hot Cheetos. I sure as shit don't want to eat Taco Bell under any set of circumstances. And all the rest of the stuff's just like junk food. So I got to go Portillo's as my dark horse, but LaCroix is going to take that bracket.
All right. I like that one. On my side there, Tom Bock, I'm picking Oreos as the favorite right there. We love Oreos. Big shout out to Oreo Oration with Game Over Greggy. I think that's going to be a good pick. You know, they're not up there. They're not my sleeper pick, but being the 3 seed Oreos, everybody loves Oreos. It's Milk's favorite cookie, people.
I get you. I hear you.
My dark horse, my sleeper pick, the 8 seed. Taco Bell. There's been rumblings in the streets. There's been DM messages that Taco Bell is going to go hard for this division. So you might see an upset or two. Taco Bell, my dark horse pick coming out of the brands division, sleeper pick. Taco Bell, favorite pick, Oreo.
Over LaCroix. Over LaCroix,
people. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a fan vote out there. So please go out there, vote for your favorite people. Twitter.com/kindafunny. Go check them out. They're putting up polls twice a day. We are now going to move over to Kinda Funny affiliated, meaning if you were on a Kinda Funny show, whether it be Game Over Greggy or anything on that division, you were on this brand. So we've had 1 game played thus far. The 3 seed Anthony Carboni takes Dave Fenoy. So that will leave us with the 1 seed, Troy Baker, the 2 seed, Cisco, 3 seed, Anthony Carboni, the 4 seed, Bernie Burns, the 5th seed, Barb Dunkelman, 7th seed, Tone Death, and the 8th seed, Raul Coley, the Funhouse Fanatic. So, Tom Bock, give me your favorite, give me your sleeper.
Dude, this is a tough one, right? Because I think this is they obviously haven't played a lot here, but man, this one is difficult because you got to I mean, look, Troy's by far, you know, kind of the most accomplished of these people. Everybody knows Troy. He's so freaking talented, man. Like, I don't know if you've even watched him, like when he'll go live stream himself playing guitar and singing. I mean, dude's like, it's Troy Baker. He's amazing. He's next level. Dude, he's completely next level. So I got to go chalk here. I mean, Troy to me, I can't imagine him not kind of getting through this one. But I will say, and I haven't ever met him personally, but dude, Carboni is just a cool cat. Like, he's just seems like a super good dude. He's crazy knowledgeable about when he comes on the shows. Like, I am big time pulling for Anthony to get through this one. Again, I don't know the guy. I have no idea anything about him, but I dig what I see. But again, dude, Troy, it's Troy. I mean, he's solid, next level.
Okay, well, Tom Bock and I, again, disagreeing here because your boy, Snowbike Mike, as his favorite, the 2 seed, Cisco the Dragon, baby. I'm going with the Dragon. Thong to thong, thong, thong. I got his back. You know, he was at Kinda Funny Live 3. He was singing for everybody. Oh, Kinda Funny Live 2. Cisco, huge community member, playing games with the guys. I really love Cisco. And come on, he makes great music, not just the thong song. Go check out the rest of his records, people. Also a member of Drew Hill, one of my favorite R&B music makers. And my dark horse, the 5th seed, Miss Barbara Dunkelman. I think coming out of that Rooster Teeth affiliated people right there, she's got a great chance to make a move over Bernie. She's a great community member. Everybody loves Barb, and I think she's going to be a great sleeper pick out of this Kinda Funny affiliated division.
Dude, I like it. You can't go wrong with Cisco. I mean, come on. I mean, he's the Dragon.
You can't go wrong with the Dragon. So moving on, we're going up to the top right now. Kinda Funny game, or my fault. We're going to go to San Francisco.
There you go.
Best friends right there. So we've had 2 matches already played here. We had the 3 seed Grimecraft over Chastity Fincento from GameSpot. And then the 1 seed Hunter Pence takes Sean Finnegan in a close one, folks. That 1 versus 8 seed was a lot closer than you thought. I'm actually surprised. I thought Hunter Pence, with, you know, how funny he is, how different he is, I thought he would be making videos really pushing for this. But, you know, we're in the start of the MLB season. I think he's a little too busy to actually realize what's going on. You think, Mike? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, playing 7 games a week. Yeah. So, left in the SF Best Friends division, you have the 1 seed, Hunter Pence. The 2 seed, Fran Marabella III. 3rd seed, Grimecraft. 4th seed, Tim Schafer. 5th seed, Lauren Lanning. And the 7th seed, Drucker Altano. So, if you don't know about those guys, they were going to be in the play-in game. Those 2 formed together to make 1 mega competitor. So instead of just Brian and or Mike, you have Mike Drucker, Brian Altano as the duo squad. So, Tom, give me your favorite. Give me your sleeper.
So, dude, this bracket is definitely wacky because, like you, I thought Hunter would sort of like he's Hunter Pence. My God, he's won World Series and he's a freaking professional baseball player. Like the fact that that race was close kind of makes me pause a little bit. Here's what I think. I think whoever comes out of the Fran Mirabella, Drucker, Altano, Drucker, however that thing goes down, I think that's who wins this bracket in all likelihood. Dude, Altano's so great, right? I mean, he's probably one of the best in the biz, I think, along with the KF guys, right? As far as getting on, talking games, and his knowledge and everything, he's awesome. So I think whoever comes out of that wins. But I'm a big Tim Schafer fan, man. That guy, his sense of humor is kind of up my alley. I would love to see him kind of dark horse his way through this thing. I don't know that it's going to happen, but I'm kind of pulling for Tim. But I think it'll be. I should pick one, but whoever comes out of the Mirabella, Drucker, Altano thing is going to win that bracket.
I love it, Tom. Well, you and I agree on something. I'm picking Drucker Altano as the favorite coming out of this bracket.
Okay.
You know, a lot of Kinda Funny best friends love those 2. Mike Drucker, hysterical, been at multiple live events, always there for the squad. And Altano, come on. He's one of the best in the biz. He's always supporting those guys. So I love that combo. But my sleeper pick is actually going to be the 1 seed. I'm going with Hunter Pence. I think if Hunter can put together a small video, maybe just get a little crowd backing behind him. I mean, this guy is the biggest thing since sliced bread in MLB, playing video games, has an amazing wife with Alexis. I think all he has to do is pull a little bit together, and he can push through this. So he's going to be my sleeper because he needs to put a little effort in here, Tom, to get out of it.
Dude, he has the reach, right? Didn't he play with Steph the other day? Like they played Mario Kart
down
or
at the
something?
Coral Sword is right. They got the Coral
come
Sword down there. They're playing with Steph Curry. All he needs is a little push. That's all he needs.
He's got the reach. I'm with you, man. That first matchup, though, I mean, that was tight. I mean, so you never know.
Now, down to the bottom right, final part of the bracket. You have Kinda Funny games affiliated. So we've actually had 3 matchups already take place thus far. The 8th seed, the Cinderella story, Elise Willems takes down the 1 seed, the commish, Xavier Woods. Something you did not see coming, but you know what?
Cinderella.
We talked about Cinderella stories beforehand. Anything can happen in an NCAA Kinda Funny Best Friend March Madness Mayhem tournament. So, Elise, big shout-out to that one. Then we also have the 6th seed, Jeff Ramsey over Alfredo Diaz. Interesting one there. I didn't think Jeff would take that one, the 3 or the 6 over the 3. And then our final one, the 5 seed, Adam Kovic, takes Dan Riker on the 4 seed. So what you have left here, Tom Bock? The 2 seed, Shuhei Yoshida. The 5 seed, Adam Kovic. The 6 seed, Jeff Ramsey. The 7 seed, Brandon Jones. And the 8 seed, Elise Willems. Who you got?
So, man, I'm going heart, no head here. Maybe it's partly head because I just want him to win so badly is Shuhei. He seems like the literal nicest person on the planet. He really does, right? Like that guy, everything that I see him do or say or get involved in, it's Shuhei, right? And he's got like the most amazing, like if I could trade positions with somebody and in my career and have a job, it's probably like a job like that, right? I mean, the guy freaking runs a business that's like one of the coolest businesses you could probably ever be associated with. So I'm not even going to pick a dark horse here. I'm just going Shuhei all the way.
He's putting all his chips on Shuhei.
All the chips are going in on Shuhei. Again, it's a heart pick, not a head pick, but I'm doing it. I'm just screw it. I'm pushing them all out there. All in for Shuhei.
I like it. Well, Tom, you and I agree because my favorite out of this bracket is going to be Shuhei Yoshida, but it's under one condition. If Shuhei wants to come out of this division, please let us change our PSN names. Come on, Shuhei. Help us out for once.
It always comes back to that.
He does
always,
that,
always.
and the tide changes. He might as well win the whole tournament if he did that. But my dark horse sleeper pick, since we're talking about Cinderellas, put the nice glass slipper on this lovely lady's foot. Elise Willems from Funhouse, the ace seed. After defeating Xavier Woods, the 1st seed, I got to put some dark horse love on her. I think with the continued support, the continued talk about her big upset, I think she can rile this up and maybe make it out of this bracket. But defeating Shuhei is going to be a big task. As you saw, Tom, the 1 seed's out. The 3 and the 4 seed are out. So there's a lot of low seeds in this bracket that could make some moves. So, Shuhei, we're betting on you. But, Elise, I think you can pull this one out if you try.
All right, I like it. Elise is awesome. I like it. All right, so now we're down to we got to pick a winner here, yeah?
Right here. So that has been your 4 brackets that make up the Kind of Funny first annual Best Friend Tournament. We have gone through all 4 brackets, giving you our favorites and our sleeper picks. Right now I'm going to ask Tom, give me one name who's walking away and going to be crowned champion of the first annual Best Friend Tournament.
The one I want, or who do I think's gonna win?
You get one, Tom. Give me one right now. Give me the one.
Dude, I can't go back on what I just said. I already pushed all in for Shuhei. I'm sticking with Shuhei. I'm not backing off.
He's not backing off.
Everything on the table, Shuhei Yoshida for the win. Period.
If you had to put an insurance bet in, all right, Tom, I'll give you a little 10% insurance bet. If you had to put an insurance bet in, who are we gonna bet on, Tom? Who's the backup?
Troy
Baker. Okay. Tommy with 2 big-time decisions there. Your boy SnowBike Mike, I'm putting it all in, and I'm jumping on the back of the dragon, baby. Cisco to take me to the championship. I got a feeling like he could really get involved here. You know, Cisco loves to be involved. He watches all the shows, listens to all the podcasts. He's always involved via Twitter, whether he's calling them or Skyping in with them. So I think Cisco, if he puts forth the effort, is going to take this actually without any doubts in my mind. I think he's going to have an easy cruise to the championship, Tom.
Dude, I like the thought process because he can come stronger than anybody there can because of how involved he is. He probably knows more about what those guys are doing than anybody.
True.
As a genuine fan, and it wouldn't take much for him to go do a quick video, something that he could put out there and just, you're right, he could probably like just maul everybody if he tried, which I'm sure he will. If anybody's likely to try, it's going to be him.
There we go. So that has been the Kind of Funny first annual Best Friend Tournament Bracketology, brought to you by SnowBike Mike and Tom Bock. We love talking sports, so we thought we'd mix it up and have a little bit of fun. Of course, big shout-out to Villanova taking the national championships for the men. Big shout-out and huge love to the 16th seed, University of Maryland, Baltimore County, the Retrievers, for making an awesome history moment in our lifetimes, Tom. Blessed to get to see that. Never will probably happen again. But awesome to see that.
133 and 1 now, or whatever the number. I guess never happened.
So we're going to wrap up the show with a fun one. Topic number 3 is one that really hits home to me and Tom. You guys probably follow us on Twitter, on some of the social media sites, and know that we are just addicted to this game. And when I say addicted, I mean your boy SnowBike Mike might not be into Far Cry because he is too involved and too into PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds on Xbox One. So, Tom Bock, I thought we'd dedicate this topic right here this week to just how much fun, how much we love PUBG on Xbox or on PC. It doesn't matter where you play it. But, you know, I thought we'd reminisce about some stories, kind of talk about how, like, you know, the needle is in our arms, Tom. I can't even play any games. I almost don't even want to podcast with you because all I want to do is get that chicken dinner, Tom.
I'm thinking about it right now. I'm like, when are we gonna wrap this shit up? Because I need to go play some PUBG. No, dude, I hear you. It's the amount that this game. I was thinking today as we were preparing for this, if there's any other game that's ever done this to me before, and I don't know, the only one to me that comes close is Dark Souls. That, you know, completely wrapped me into it. But that was a totally different thing, different time, different kind of game. Dude, it scares me how much I like this game because to what you just said, I'm overlooking. We talked about the game backlog that we both have from Christmas and now in spring. I'm missing out on everything because this is all I want to do. Dude, how many nights, think about this, have you and I been like, hey, let's go play this game. Let's go play more Sea of Thieves, which I still haven't played but like twice. Let's go finish A Way Out. And we get every single time we're like, why would we do that? We've got PUBG. Let's just go play PUBG. And we end up doing it. And I have the greatest time of my life playing with Sean Pitts and you and your crew. And I mean, dude, this game scares me how much of a hold it has on me.
Oh,
like it frightens me that I'm so addicted to this game. Frightens
Tom, it's scary to think about. Like you and I have so many games to play. I have a hard time broadcasting on Twitch and not wanting to broadcast PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I mean, It's so dynamic. It's organic, like you used from last week. It's every time the game is different. And the best part is you can play it up to 4 people on a squad. So, you know, we get Gifted Dim up in there. We get his girl, Riri. We get Skizit from the community, Goron King, B. Earl the Squirrel, B. Ball and Brian. I mean, we got numerous amounts of players. Griffin, Sean, Toxic,
Kevin,
all these guys.
played
Big
with us.
Kev Dog. Yeah. Everybody pulls together to help us go out there and try to get this chicken dinner. And gosh darn it, I have a hard time even wanting to play a different game. Honestly, Sean, I was breaking down the numbers. I'm playing PUBG 7 nights a week for about guaranteed 4 to 6 hours a night. It's scary, Tom.
Dude, it is completely scary. And have you ever sat down? I mean, there's a lot of reasons why, right? I keep thinking about what are the things about that game that keep drawing us back into the level that we are. Number one, will it ever change and get? I'm sure eventually we'll get tired of it, but with the new maps coming out and all that, it's probably a long way off before the addiction goes. But what I keep trying to figure out, what is it about this game that is so addictive? Because it does stuff that's really, look, as we've said a million times, it's not a AAA game, right? And people that always want to defend or get in this Fortnite versus PUBG thing, which they're such different games that it kind of bothers me when those two things kind of get mixed because they're just battle royale, but they're nothing like each other, right? Fortnite is a very AAA, very polished, totally different experience. So I get why people love it. Like I completely do. It's just not completely my thing, but I 100% get it. But the thing about PUBG that's so games that you genuinely see yourself getting better at least for me, this is my deal with games. When you first go into it, you're here, and then the more you play, every time you play, that's why I brought up the Dark Souls comparison, right? Every time you die, you feel like you learned something. You got a little bit better. You figured out what you should have done differently. Dude, PUBG never stops throwing that. It throws it at you in spades every game. Like every time you die, you're like, oh, I know exactly what I did wrong, and I'm not going to do that again. At least I hope I'm not going to do it again. So like there's this learning curve in between all the jankiness of the game, which I hope they eventually fix because there's still some unfortunate, really, crippling. Dude, how many times did we black screen last night?
Oh,
Seriously?
my God. You black screen at like the most intense moment, too, and you're like, I got to get back in this game immediately. I'm a freak.
We had 2 people black screening out of the 4 at the exact same time where so there's a lot of crap that this game needs to like fix and get right. But to me, that's the grind for me is, and I'm the first to admit, I'm still not very good at it, which is crazy that I've played. I wouldn't even want to count the hours now. I could look at my counter. I'm still not very good at it, which kind of drives me crazy because, dude, look, I'm never going to be a teenager again, have those Twitch shooting skills. We talked about last week, I was never a huge multiplayer guy, so that's part of this. But I don't suck at video games. Like, I'm not bad. I'm average to, I think, a little bit above average, not maybe a lot above, but a little. This game, man, I am just not that good at it compared to most people. And no matter how many hours I log, I still feel like I have a long way to go, as you know from playing with me. Every time we talk, I'm like, man, my aim sucks, my this sucks. That is a real that to me is what pulls me into the game. Is I'm competitive to the point that I want to get good at it, and I know that I can. At least I think I can, and it just keeps pulling me in to get better.
Oh,
Um, and because it's so much freaking fun. Like, dude, playing with Sean and Griffin, those guys that are like 20 kill a game
straight
guys,
pros, just
is
pros.
is sick. Just to be in the squad and watch that is crazy. So anyway, I took a
Oh,
lot of time.
I
talking
agree,
about
Tom.
it,
No,
go for it.
that you hit it right on the nail in comment. I love continuing to improve myself in that game. Every single time I think to myself, what gun am I using? What gun do I need to grab? Stay calm under pressure, Mike. Like, we're going to get into gunfights, and all it's going to come down to is who stays calm, who aims down the sights and is actually shooting the correct way and not spraying and praying like I do. I mean, I just axe ripped somebody where I just sprayed 50 bullets in the air and just prayed to God that at least 4 of them were going to hit him. So I love the continuously improving yourself, and I love, you know, how dynamic, how different each and every game is. Like, we play it so differently each and every night. Sometimes we'll go bridge camp on the bridge, and it'll just be mayhem on the bridge, and we take it real slow. Sometimes we just creep the outer edge of the circle, and we just wait until the final circle with 10 people left, and we just roll the dice. And then there's other nights where I'm with Sean Pitts, Toxic, and Earl, and all of a sudden we're chasing down loot crates. We're just looking for people to kill, and I'm hoping to God I don't mess up half the time.
Yeah,
And then
it's
there's
hard
other
with
games
them.
where I'm just shooting my own teammates. You know, I just friendly fire on somebody on an accident, and that's how the game kind of goes. But there has
Never the same.
never been
Never
a
the
game,
same
Tom,
twice.
that has captivated me this much. Like, you brought up Dark Souls, and, you know, you said it's a little bit different, but that was a game that really captured you. You wanted to go back all the time. I don't know, Tom, if there's a game in history, in my gaming history, where I think about it as much as I do. I mean, I come home, and I am rearing. I am ready to turn on this Xbox One, shout out to PUBG Corp for putting this on the Xbox. What a brilliant move by Microsoft to lock it down. What a great move by them to take it off of PC where there was a lot of people playing it. But come on, put it in the console players' hands. And now here I am. I come home and I gotta play it. I need that. I need that addiction to be filled. I need that gosh darn chicken dinner every
Dude, I know.
time.
Do you ever feel like, so the emotion that I get sometimes, and it kind of happened, like, I mean, this is a funny story from last night. We all played a bunch. Sean was playing with us. I think we got a couple of seconds, if I remember, in a few top tens. We didn't get any chicken dinners. And then I split because it was late. It was like 1 a.m. And one of the other kids came on to play, who's way better than I am, admittedly way better than I am, and you guys went back-to-back chicken dinners, right? And I'd be lying if I said that doesn't kind of eat at me. It's like, God dang it. Not that I wasn't there for it, but I know that that's partly on me because this kid went out and got, 10 kills or some craziness. And I sit back and go, man, what's it going to take for me to get to that level of where, I'm that guy that can go out and be the other guy that's the big baller out there helping a lot more than I'm helping now, getting 2 kills or 3 kills in a match if I'm lucky, right? Does that ever screw with you? Like, do you aspire to be that good, or do you think you could ever be that good at that game?
My first couple weeks with the game, Tom, I was always upset that we weren't getting chicken dinners, that I would leave and maybe the group would go get one without me and I wasn't the one pulling my weight. But now I've actually changed the leaf of no matter when I play, no matter what the outcome is, I always have fun. Whether it's
Yeah.
going to whip a motorcycle with doing some double backflips and not even paying attention to the game, whether it's being carried with 0 kills, whether it's me getting 2 to 3 kills, which is like my highest ever, every single time is a fun time. And I've just put, winning is awesome and it's so much fun. But just the gameplay of how crazy it is all that I care about now. And linking up with the squad is so great. Like, I haven't had a game where I know when I sign onto my Xbox or I start that Twitch broadcast, I can get 3 other players guaranteed to play with me right away. It's so awesome.
I think that's the best part of it. I mean, it is the social, the getting everybody together part to me is the best part of it too. But dude, I'd be lying if I said that there Fun, definitely number one, and you can have fun and die right away. We've had a million games where you die right off the drop, and they're just as fun as the ones you go deep. But man, there's definitely you can feel like you kind of let your squad down if you do something stupid, right? Like how many games do we have end that you're like, oh man, I did something dumb. Like last night, I was coming to save you, like I didn't come quick enough, and you're just like, you can't help but sort of feel the weight of that sometimes, right? Like, man, I should have done that differently. Whatever, dude. There's a part of me that hopes that the addiction goes down just a little bit because man, it is a little strong. I know my wife's not real thrilled of me staying up every night till 1 a.m. and like I just can't help it, dude. I am so deep as you are. Like it's consumed me like no game. I didn't think a game could ever do this to me, to be quite honest with you. Like I didn't see this coming. I didn't see it coming.
I love it. Well, that is going to wrap up episode 3 of the Game Time Podcast with your best friends, Tom Bock and SnowBikeMike. We want to thank each and every one of you for watching, listening, and viewing. We appreciate all of you, and thank you so much for your continued support. We had a ton of fun. We're going to send Tommy Bock off to the desert sun, get a little heat, get a little sunshine, and I am going to be here holding down the studio, waiting for his triumphant return for episode 4. We will be back next week. Tom Bock, say goodbye to the people and let them know where they can find you.
Guys, keep the feedback coming, by the way. This has been so much fun. I hope people do enjoy watching it. Man, I'm having a ball doing it. Like I told you last week, I think about it when we're not recording it. Like, what are we going to talk about? And so keep the feedback coming, everybody. It means a lot to us to kind of get your feedback on how we're doing, what we could do better at. Find me at Galunga on Twitter. That's it. Hope I don't burn up in the desert. I'm going to come back like literally fried, and it's going to be a disgusting sight.
Love it.
So get ready.
Practice that sun safety. Of course, I'm your boy, SnowBikeMike. Find me on all of the social media outlets. And, of course, check out the broadcast Tuesday through Saturday, each and every evening at 7 p.m. We're playing games together with you, the community out there. We're checking out new games, and we're having a ton of fun. That is my shameless plug. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Episode 3 of the Game Time Podcast. Hit the buzzer because we're all done. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.
See you guys. Be good.